Hello, and welcome to Reddit Rewind, where we cover Reddit's most ridiculous stories. So today we have a nuclear revenge story, and this one is a bit brutal. So strap in and get ready for the ride. So today's story is from Nuclear Revenge, and it's quite a doozy. Titled, Grandpa Gave Up What Time He Had Left for Revenge on My Behalf. TLDR at the end. This is a throwaway account for obvious reasons. This story has a few references to some triggering things, just FYI. Now, I've been debating over posting this or not, but I finally decided I will. This is my grandpa's nuclear revenge on my behalf. So I guess let's begin. It's going to be long, sorry. I grew up dealing with a lot of mental health issues, as my mother's a drug addict and my father liked to ignore my existence as I'm the result of a one-night stand while he was married. So, needless to say, his wife hated me and their children treated me horribly as well. The only good people I had in my life was my grandma and my grandpa on my father's side. I loved them and spent a lot of time at my grandparents' business. I'll explain that a little later. Now, at 14, everything went further down the hill. I won't go into details, but my mother almost passed away, and I met a man, let's name him Goat. He looked like one. Long story short, Goat was 25 at the beginning and emotionally, physically, and sexually abused me. While I was under the pretense that I loved him and it was okay, he pushed me away from my grandparents and isolated me for 2 years until a friend helped me get out of it. During this next year, Goat stalked me, threatened me, and had me absolutely terrified. I was afraid of going to police as I didn't want to bring harsh light to my grandpa's business, and because I was afraid. I was staying at my friend's house for a while during this time, as my panic attacks and what I know now is PTSD was horrible, and I hated to be alone. During this time, my grandmother passed away, one of the only lights in my life left. So I became worse. I began drinking and going to parties and trying to forget my life. Right before my 18th birthday, Goad made a real-life appearance again. On my way back from a big party, he jumped me, beat me black and blue, and almost killed me. I was found and taken to a hospital where they began treating me. And as I was underage, they asked me to call an adult in my life that they could talk to. I tried to call my father, but he didn't pick up. Knowing my mother wasn't going to help, I had to call my grandfather. He was at the hospital in lightning speed, and for the first time in my life, I watched this man that had built his own empire really break down. Even at my grandma's funeral, he didn't cry. I spent 2 months in the hospital, with police questioning me and my grandpa by my side every day. During this time, he met my friend who helped me out of it all at the beginning, and became very close to him. My grandfather helped me get on my feet for a whole year, until one day he had a large family gathering and socialized the whole time, taking me with him. That night I will never forget. We went to get ice cream, and then he just hugged me for a very long time, holding me tight and reassuring me everything would be okay. The next day, my grandpa exacted his revenge. Now, my grandpa was the owner of a well-off law firm that also had private detectives in a smaller office in his building. He apparently tracked down Goat and went about his revenge. My grandpa shot Goat 3 times in the stomach and once in the chest. Goat passed away in the hospital later that day, while my grandpa was taken in and soon put in jail for manslaughter, which he pleaded guilty to. I never got the chance to visit my grandpa in jail, as he passed away soon after in jail from complications. 1 week after my grandpa's death, I got a call from his solicitor. He asked me to go in. I was met with a lengthy letter from my grandpa, which was nothing but loving, and showed that he had found out that he had terminal lung cancer and wouldn't live much longer, but he couldn't happily leave me alone in this world without Goat being gone too. My grandpa left almost everything to me. At 20, I would inherit the law firm and could do as I pleased with it, and I inherited 95% of his savings, his house he lived in with grandma, and his other assets. In case anyone's interested, I turned 21 last week. I'm currently working at the law firm. My grandpa's secretary, now the CEO, has taken over the important things in the building and makes most of the decisions. I spent half the money I was given in locked saving funds for all the younger family members to go to college when it's time. I cut all contact off with my father, who tried to steal money from me during the death arrangements of Grandpa. My friend mentioned earlier in the story is now my fiancé, and we're getting married next summer. I'm still suffering from PTSD and depression, but it's getting better every day. I'm in therapy for PTSD treatment. I got a tattoo of my grandpa and grandma on my back of 2 lions protecting a cub. I also opened up a safe house for anyone going through abuse of any kind. No matter the race, gender, or age, I'm trying to help anyone I can in that situation. Besides for what I've put away for later in life, I'm also thinking of opening up the bakery I always wanted and employing the people that need the job and help the most, but I'm unsure at the moment about that. My grandpa and grandma was a godsend, and to this day I miss them greatly, but I know I couldn't have changed the stubborn old man's mind even if I tried. I'm sorry this is long. I tried to make it shorter. TLDR, my grandfather killed my abuser and left everything the law didn't take to me. Edit. I wrote a part wrong. Whoops. My mother didn't die. She almost did. Edit part 2. Thank you so much for the gold, kind stranger. Also, thank you to all these comments. It's so uplifting and entertaining to hear people talk so highly of my grandpa. Thank you, everyone, for being so wholesome and amazing. Wow, well, that is a crazy revenge story. Sounds like something you'd see in a movie where an older loved one sees someone being abused, finds out they don't have long to live, and exacts revenge on that person's behalf because that person can't do it without ruining their own life and they don't have much longer to live. So, yeah, bit of a tearjerker. Don't know if it's true, like most Reddit stories, but it was entertaining, and I thank this OP for writing it. So I found a couple posts in the comment section that kind of summarize my thoughts on this and thought I would read a few. Oh my God, this story actually made me cry. I'm so very glad that you had people like your grandma and grandpa to cast a bright light on an otherwise pitch black situation. I wouldn't normally condone the killing of another, but in this case, I do not blame your grandpa one bit. The love he showed for you all those years, even sacrificing the little bit of life he had left to ensure you could live on safely, that right there is a true hero. I'm so happy to hear how your life has turned around, and I have no doubt that your grandpa and grandma are both smiling down on you from heaven. Also, kudos for you for not punishing the younger family members in spite of your parents' actions. You are an amazing person. Okay, I'm crying even typing this comment. Thank you, OP, for sharing this with all of us. So this person's comment pretty much sums up everything I was feeling about the story as well. The story is sad. It is a bit of a tearjerker, with people with big hearts making a huge sacrifice in order so that the next generation can live well. Again, thank you, OP, for posting that story. Thank you for listening. Please write the comments down below and let me know what you thought. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time.